Hello, welcome to the replay for joining me. Just waiting for people to arrive. And getting into the headspace. Doing a little smoke cleansing, which I haven't done in a while. It's a nice treat. Hi, welcome. Thanks for joining. Just getting ready to read some cards. People want personal readings today. I think I put, they're 22 still. They're 22 if you get them live, 33 if you book them privately, but it's because you get more stuff when you book it privately. You get a longer reading, you get more stuff. So that's how it's going to work. But I will read some collective energy today. I'm just doing a little smoke cleansing, so to speak. The kind I'm allowed, it's not a closed practice. This is one of the non-closed practices, which is good, because I actually really do feel that we should respect other people's practices and not appropriate them and make money off of them. So there is that. All right, let's see. We're gonna start with some collective energy for today just to see how everybody's doing. And we're just gonna see what needs to come through. Thursdays are a good day to look at finances and career, things having to do with the material. Oh, and of course, what comes out. Queen of Pentacles and the Sun. So, yes. Achieving this state, the Queen of Pentacles energy, through whatever makes you happy. And discovering that in the things that you used to do when you were a child. Because usually when we're a child, we just gravitate sort of naturally to things that inspire us, feel good. We tend not to curb ourselves from that. And so if you don't already know what your passion is, or what you really want to do in the world, it's a chance to get some enlightenment from thinking back on your childhood. Now, not everybody has, really fun, fantastic childhood memories. So not everybody has the privilege of going back and looking at the different games they would play, because maybe they didn't even get to do something like that. So if you have a background where you did not experience a childhood that was fun and filled with play and freedom to express what you desire to do in the world, this is your chance to give yourself that childhood right now. And because you didn't get to experience it, you have a blank slate. You can design what you think your childhood should have been like, what you think should have happened. Not everybody can just be like, oh, I loved playing with doll houses when I was little, because there was no access to things like that. But what I would do is sift through your memories, and even if they are, majority of them are painful, if there's any light that shines through the cracks, grab onto that light and look at its source. For instance, let's say your home life was really pretty traumatic, but you had this kindergarten teacher who, allowed you to do or be or have anything you needed to do or be or have as her student, and the relationship you had with that teacher was good, and there were things she encouraged you to do, and you can remember some of those things. So just try to sift through and see if there's any light. And if there really isn't any light to be found in your past, then I want you to imagine that you're going back into that past and you're taking that child by the hand. Maybe it's this age, and it's you at this age. You're taking them and you're rescuing them from that environment. And then I want you to imagine the environment that you would have given to this child, that is you, and then let that child roam around that environment and either play with her or him, or however you identify as your pronoun, to play with them or to actually become them. Think about what it feels like to be them and take on that childlike nature in order to discover what you do really like to do, what you do like to play. Like, do you sing? Do you dance? Do you go outside and dig up, vegetables from a garden? Do you pretend that you are, a pioneer and going out west with your Little House on the Prairie wagon and being a homesteader? Like, what do you imagine that your little child that didn't get to do any of those things would have liked to have done? And let yourself be imaginative now, even if it's only a little bit at a time. And so I think that is what will help you right now a lot with discovering how to find that confidence to take on whatever career it is that you're really wanting to take on, and just start to really be that thing and do that thing. Is finding exactly what really makes your heart sing when you're just childlike and playful, right? Not me crying because yes. Oh, okay. I'm so glad you received that message. I will be putting a replay. I forgot to put yesterday's replay up. I'm sorry about that, but I will be putting both of the replays up tonight, so that you can see yesterday's reading if you missed it, and then of course today's. If you're only getting here just now, or you get a reading today and you want to be able to see your reading, it'll be available on my Tuned In Tarot YouTube today. So yeah, this is a theme. Now it's really interesting that this is the theme that these cards came out of the deck, because I just had a meeting with my Tuned In Tarot team, and it's Pearl and the Prayers team, but we are going to be for sure debuting the guided 24-hour virtual retreat on January 7th. And we made the schedule today. I'm really excited about it. We have a couple little pieces to finish putting it all together, but basically it's going to start at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and continue throughout the day. We'll be watching our final movie hangout session, and around 10 p.m. you can either participate in the movie or you can go into a self-directed winding down nighttime ritual. I'm going to hire an ASMR Reiki practitioner for some content, so we'll have a special themed focused Reiki session, or you can do a guided meditation if you don't like ASMR Reiki or whatever. It's going to be really cool. And then the next morning you will follow your Sunday morning intentions, because you will have, basically, we're looking at a vision for your life, and we're going to use childhood, memories to help us figure out what vision we want for our life. And then on Sunday, we'll follow basically whatever routine you set up for yourself, and then we'll all meet together again at 11 a.m. and kind of just go over everything we learned and say goodbye to one another, send our hopefully relaxed and newly focused selves on our way to tackle the rest of 2023. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in doing, keep your eye out for when the tickets go on sale. There's only going to be 30 tickets available, because I want to be able to have a small enough group that I can interact with everybody. There would be an anonymous option, which means you can purchase a ticket and you do not have to use your video or audio during the event. You can just observe any of the modules and participate as much as you like, but sort of not have to interact, because the idea is that it's a retreat, so you don't have to be doing anything. You can be just kind of absorbing and just relaxing. I'm excited, and the entire event is only going to cost $100 for the entire thing. So I will be presenting 2 full-length readings, helping to release obstacles and then rebuild from that. There'll be vision boarding, body nourishment session, gentle movement. There'll be a menu that you can follow, and then there'll be a no expenses option where you can get all of the things that you need just right at home. Like if we make a scrub or do anything together to have a spa treatment, it will be stuff that you'll find right around your house, so you don't have to spend a lot of money. Or you can follow an option where you treat yourself to some bougie goodies or something, and just, you know, it's basically as much as you want to invest. I'm pretty excited about it. So that's happening on January 7th, and the tickets are going to start being sold probably within the next 2 weeks, so that you can purchase them for a gift if you want to, for people for the holiday, or however, or ask for it as a gift, for a holiday gift for yourself. Once you purchase the ticket, you'll receive a welcome packet, which is already going to have some information for you about what items you'll need, and there'll be a book, an optional book if you want to read it or listen to the audio version. There'll be an optional book discussion, or if you choose not to do the book discussion, you can just go into a guided visualization and have your own free time. So it's going to be really cool. I'll talk more about it as the details unfold. There'll be a sample schedule that you can look at to see if it's something that you would enjoy doing. And yeah, whoever is deciding to participate in it, just let me know in the comments. If you see the videos go up posting about it on my profile, just let me know you're interested, and I'll make sure that I send you a link so that you can order tickets first when they go on sale. And yeah, that is all coming up. But these cards fit perfectly with that, because the whole vision I have for that first retreat that we do together is that you start to really think about what your vision for your life is. And to do that, I want us to kind of tap into some of the childhood play activities that we did when we were young, and find something that we really value, some creative aspect of ourselves or some emotional investment that we want to make, and really prioritize that and bring it to the forefront of our lives so that we can pursue it, and hopefully find a lot of fulfillment and satisfaction in it. Sometimes financial, but not necessarily financial. But if we bring back these two cards to the focus of Thursday readings, which is for me, finance and career, what we have here is somebody that feels very financially independent and successful. Thank you so much for the gifts. And it's coming from joy. It's coming from the fact that whatever they're doing brings them joy. You can see she doesn't have like your stereotypical career of an individual. Like, this is just of anybody, you know. It's not like a lot of people are doing apothecary shops. Like, this is something that's unique, something that's suited to you, authentically you, that doesn't necessarily have something it can be compared to. It's something that definitely has brought you joy for a long time. And sometimes it seems like when you've invested in it, you haven't seen any return. But that's because you were very attached to a certain outcome. And you were doing it because you wanted something, not just because you liked something. And that's another thing to really understand. It's a different thing to say, I want to be a rock star, for instance. Like, that's something I've always wanted to be. I want to be a rock star is such a different sentiment from I like to be a rock star. Do I like that? Do I actually like that? Having gone and done it and been out in LA the last 10 years and hung out with people in the industry and met the people that I was like, you know, deifying in my youth, and then meeting them and being like, oh, okay. I mean, cool. Like, everybody's as fucked up as me. What do you know? Like, we're all the same. Okay. So basically, having that experience, I can now say there are definitely a lot of things about being a rock star that I didn't like. I don't like the schedule at all. Not even a little bit do I like that schedule. Do I like being the center of attention? Yes, I like being the center of attention. Are there ways I can be the center of attention that are healthier and more supportive for me? Yes, 100% there are. So starting to acknowledge that when you say you like something, it's a lot different than you want something, and it changes the power dynamic that that thing has over you, right? So that's a nifty thing I learned last night, and that will be a theme actually that I'm going to explore on that weekend retreat in January if you're interested in that. But let's pull some more cards about finding joy in the work that we do, valuing our creativity and our emotions, having that become a source of abundance for us and prosperity. And also I'm seeing that she is somebody who's working with plants, herbs. Looks like there's dried herbs in there. So the sun is actually at the, it's a huge player in the work that she does. Literally the physical sunlight feeding and nurturing her and whatever it is she creates. And if you don't think the sun is important, you're gravely mistaken. You need sun just like plants do. And there is definitely, I'm called to mention that, so it must be important. And I know it is for me. The Fool card. Okay, so starting a journey. Okay, and I like also that in this card, we're seeing somebody who has a journal in front of her. She's got a cup. There's candles lit, 3 candles actually. There's hearts indicating like that emotion. There's a shell, which is very divine feminine energy with rose petals within it and white roses and pink roses. And then we have that, the Venus painting here in the back. And this openness and receptivity that I really like, because when you are young, and that's the reason exploring your childhood for what will truly bring you joy in the physical. When you're young, you are open to anything. Somebody's like, hey, do you want to try this? And you're like, yeah, totally. It's not until you start to have experiences that teach you like, ooh, sometimes things taste gross. And then you get scared that might happen again. You develop kind of an anxiousness about food and you don't like to try new things because of that, like new flavors. Or you can have the opposite experience. You could have had a very limited palate and then go to a friend's house that eats a different cultural cuisine than you've ever had and taste spices you've never had before, and your senses can awaken and you are like open completely, and because everything was so same, you like to explore and you have new things. Like as a child, you're just much more open, so this is just telling you, like, be open to the experiences you're having. Don't shut down because you've never done it before. Just let the fact that you've never done it before be kind of exciting. And I mean, yes, comfort it feels good. We should have a healthy dose of comfort in our lives. I think we should aim to have a really comfortable sleeping space, a really comfortable place where we work, a comfortable relationship with our routine. And then I really think that we should challenge ourselves to find ways to make ourselves a little uncomfortable each day so that we reach for something that expands us outside of the comfort zone, because most of the things that we desire are stretching ourselves beyond where we currently are. That's like the nature of it. If you desired something that was very simple to get, you would just be like, oh, it's right here. I'd like some of this granola. Like, okay, cool. You just made some and it's right there. Now you can eat it. Versus like, I would love to create like a company that makes granola that is, really supportive and healthy and whatever. And that's like stretching you out of your comfort zone. You have to like think about what your role would be and how you would do that, and those. But making sure that you have moments each day where you agree to put yourself in a position that's less than comfortable to challenge yourself. And here I don't mean dangerous. I don't want you to put yourself in a dangerous position, but just like a little outside of your comfort zone. That's where you need to go. That's where the really big shifts happen that allow you to open up and receive abundance, prosperity, attention. And then you got to do this. You really owe yourself this. There's people in your life that give you very little. They bring very little to the table. You have to do a group project and you got saddled with a couple of people that are just kind of hanging on to your coattails waiting for you to do all the work. And the good news is you're not in school right now and this isn't a group project. And so if there's anybody like that that's just like not bringing a lot to the table and maybe even dragging you down because you have to be accountable for them in some way, just let them go. Just be like, you know what? I'm good, actually. Like, you're not really bringing me much, sir or madam or, human. So just please, can you maybe piss off? Because I don't really think that you are helping me build my foundation from the ground up. I think that you are actually creating an unstable environment for my foundation, because I'm doing a lot of work I can't sustain, and I can't always keep standing here and holding your side of the building up. At some point, there's got to be structural integrity there, and you're not bringing that to me. So, bye. I don't need you. I'm interested in people who are wanting to build with me. And so this is releasing any childish energy that's just not there for it. It's like, do you want to build your dream with this person that's just kind of like a parasite attached to you, and then they just like leech off of your dream after you've built it? Or do you want to build your dream with someone else who's equally invested in it because they put the time and energy into it? Like, have people stay upfront what percentage of time and energy they want to put into something. When I sat down with my team today, I was like, look, I want to fairly split the proceeds of this. I'm doing XYZ, and that's worth a certain percentage to me. And I want you both to give yourself time to think about how much time and energy do you want to put in, and what percentage do you think that fits, and I'll give that to you. Like, let's be as egalitarian as possible in this, because there's no reason not to be that way. And unless I'm grasping and fearing I can't get more, like, right? But if I'm really being honest, this is how much time and energy I invest. And like, just let me know where you're at. And then I have the expectation of, you know, where we're going. But if somebody's like, yeah, 0%, 0% effort, 0%. Oh, well, okay, 1%. So I'm going to show up 1% of the time. I'll post a vague thing for you to see. I'll wear something that you know is for you. I'll like stare longingly at you across a room. But like, that's about how much I'm going to like help build this relationship. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to go, and you can take that 1% and give it to someone else, because I'm pretty sure I can find somebody who's wanting to put in more like 50%, and I know those people exist, and I'm looking for that. Okay, so 50% to me, and 50% for you, like where we're doing, you know, do you know about equal things? I mean, you know maths, right? Mm-hmm. So letting go of anybody that's really not building anything with you. If you're getting 1% effort, your relationship probably looks 1% good. So up the ante a little bit. Let that stuff go. And also the idea of somebody coming and offering you some kind of escape. I'm getting that as well. Like, here, just this will take you away forever. Hi, Amanda. I'm seeing you there. Thanks. Welcome for joining. If you have a prayer badge by your name, I will pull 2 cards for you on any questions. And to get a prayer badge, you just have to follow and then subscribe to my channel. So yeah, let go of stuff that doesn't serve you. All right, any final closing messages for this reading? This card will not quit. The 8 of Wands. I keep getting this card a lot, and this card from this deck in particular. I like that it shows the feminine, like leading here, and it doesn't mean feminine identifying gendered person or individual. It means the energy. So this is the energy of emotion, creativity, receptivity, leading the way, like letting your emotions pull you in the direction you desire to go, which means if you have your emotions are not the emotions you desire to have, you're being pulled in the direction you don't want to go. So you're like, well, what do I do about that? Well, your emotions are happening to show you what your thoughts are. Your thoughts are focused in a certain direction, and your emotions reflect where your thoughts are. So if you're a person who has suppressed your emotions, you might not know what the hell you're doing, because you have had no way of assessing whether the thoughts you are thinking are truly helpful or not. Hello from Scotland, welcome. So, if you have been a person that suppresses emotions, doesn't feel them, doesn't let yourself be led by your heart, and usually tries to lead instead by your head, it might be very difficult for you to know if you're doing something that's actually right for you, because you're not authentically in touch with how your thoughts affect you. So how do you become a person who's led by your heart? Well, you have to start to assess feelings a little bit more frequently. You start just slowly at first, and then you build it up, just like anything else. You begin with just sort of checking in. How do I feel right now? Like, just what do I really feel? You start with something that you can obviously assess. If you're a very logical person, you're in your head a lot. Ask, how do I physically feel in my body? So you start with your toes, scan up your body. You notice that your low back is actually kind of tense. Like there's some pressure, tension that's right around the core of your low back, like right above your hips, right in that area, or something in the shoulders or the neck, right? There's some physical, you can feel it. You're like, oh, I feel physical sensations of discomfort in my body. Okay, let's look at somebody that's got tension in their body. What is the likely feeling you have if you're tensing? If you're tensing up and you're not very relaxed in your body, then you probably are experiencing some mental tension. So there's probably some thoughts you keep thinking. And you might want to ask yourself, well, what are some of the things I tend to worry about? And just gently touch on that. Be like, oh yeah, I can feel myself tensing against that. Okay, first step. Now, thank you so much for the share. I appreciate that. Now as you've tensed against that thought, now you can see, oh, myself, my whole self has a reaction to my thought, and I'm just not paying attention to it. It is actually causing a sense of fear inside of me, or something that I feel like I have to figure out, but it may seem too challenging to figure it out. So instead of trying to, I just sort of ignore the sensations I'm getting. That's the first step to becoming led by your emotions, because you have to have a good sense of where your emotions are taking you. And if you've completely suppressed the language of emotion, you first have to notice that it's actually causing a physical response. Another one is to start up, sometimes it's called the tone scale. That's been used in different esoteric practices. But basically getting a sense, am I angry? Because anger is something that people are comfortable with expressing. It's permissible. It is associated with masculine energy. And so with masculine-led like cultures, we tend to value that as it's a logical explanation for behavior. Anger makes sense to people, so it's sometimes good to be like, to notice, oh, I feel angry, because it might be something you let yourself feel. Maybe you don't let yourself feel a lot more nuanced emotion, but anger is something that you feel. So when you feel anger, that's when you notice it. How does it feel when you feel angry? What do you physically do in your body? Another one is sadness. When you feel sad, this one you may never let yourself feel, but once you start to feel the tension, you might realize you're bracing yourself against the feelings of disappointment or sadness. You might brace yourself against those disappointments with anger, some of the emotions that are a little bit lower on the tone scale that are easier to reach for. But anger feels better than apathy, right? And making peace with something is kind of heading up to this place where you just feel completely relaxed. You're no longer tense. So definitely do that work to, hi, welcome, thanks for joining. Definitely do that work to assess where you are on that tone scale as you start to feel into your feelings. So that's for people that have a hard time feeling your feelings. What about the people that know exactly how they're feeling and they can't seem to get their thoughts to obey because their feelings are so intense and overwhelming? So I'm in that category a lot. I'm Italian. Leo sun, Leo moon, and a Pisces rising. So I'm like culturally, it's permissible for me to be loud and dramatic and emotionally reactive. I'm like welcome to express those things, but it's also usually the negative side. I can have explosive reactions to things, right? I can be hard-headed. I can be jealous. I can be like, you talking to me? Like I can have those kind of outbursts, and it's normal. I'm also redheaded, so I can have all of those those are all the things that are permissible. But what about the feelings and sensations that are so overwhelming that I can't seem to focus on logical things? I get swept up by a feeling of depression, or I get swept up by a feeling of loss or anxiety, and so now my thoughts are kind of all over the place, just feeding the emotion. And how do I deal with that? So that's the opposite end of the scale, right? The first people I talk to, they don't know how to feel their feelings. The second group, they're feeling so many of their feelings and they don't know how to rein in their thoughts. Okay, so this is where you develop some kind of a self-soothing behavior that is supportive. So I am a big advocate of not moralizing our self-care, which means if you look at all the tools you have as different options for self-care, no matter what they are, whether it's cannabis or alcohol or sexual activity or binging a show or binging a food or binging books or knitting or going for a walk or a run or preparing a nourishing meal for yourself, or every single behavior you could engage in is just a tool. Take away the moralizing of this is a good tool or this is a bad tool, because the only results you get from that thinking is judgment. And then you have to go through the process of forgiving yourself for choosing a bad tool when you should have chosen a good tool, and there's a shoulda, woulda, coulda kind of thing going on, and it doesn't help you. It's not supportive. It's not actually effective in motivating positive behavior to feel ashamed when you are human, because you're going to be human 100% of the time. You're going to be perfect 0% of the time. That's not a good equation for like feeling good about yourself. If being human is the antithesis and being perfect is the only way to be satisfied. We got to let that hard thinking go. So, a lot of tools. Choose one that is simple to do, that is supportive so that when you're doing it, you're not triggering shame, and then let yourself do this soothing thing when you feel overwhelmed. So, an example for me would be, I really enjoy playing The Sims 4, and I don't let myself play it very much because I don't want to get lost in it and not do other things. But if I am just having the worst time and it's hard for me to stop thinking about my circumstances and I need to make a certain amount of money and I'm not making that money and I don't know how I'm going to make that money and I need to make the money, then I'm like, you know what you're going to do? It sounds counterintuitive, but you're going to go shut everything else out and you're going to play The Sims 4 for as long as you want to. Just go right ahead and do it. And so then I go do that thing. And for however many hours, it used to be I would binge that game and feel guilty. Now when I let myself play the game, I really only usually want to play it for like a few hours. And then I'm kind of like, okay, I'm good. And I stop playing and go do something else. Like, it doesn't have the shame part, so I don't keep hurting myself with it. That's why the moralizing part has to go away. Another example for me would be cannabis. That's like a tool for me that if I use it in a supportive way is a perfectly acceptable tool. If I am not dealing with any of my feelings and constantly numbing myself, then it's not supportive anymore. And I have to shift and choose a different tool. But basically, when you feel the overwhelmment, when you feel the intensity of emotions, when you feel like you're going to send a message when you're not really in a good headspace to do it, when you feel like you just have to talk to somebody right now about, choose one of the tools and make a list ahead of time when you feel good, like when you feel normal. Like right now, we're just chatting. Maybe you feel a bit calm right now. You feel relaxed. After the live, grab a piece of paper and jot down some of the things that you will let yourself do without judgment when you're feeling overwhelmed so that you can calm your emotional reactivity down enough to start to think in a more helpful way about whatever you're freaking out about, whatever is causing a lot of intensity. And then choose off of your list and try to put 10 different things on there, and put things that fall into the category of maybe put like really supportive, mildly supportive, has the tendency to become unsupportive or cause me to step into a place where I can have a dysfunctional relationship. So still consider that one of the tools, but just put it as your last resort. Like, have these 2 other columns before. Sometimes we have to go to the 3rd column. Sometimes we do. And maybe you have a 4th column that's like, if I want to do one of these things, I have somebody that I can call. And that might include like cutting, self-harm, a substance that you have a history with, that you have a difficulty controlling, that does bring you shame, and have that fourth thing also put it on there because it's a tool, and just have that column be, before I engage in this tool, I call on the following people for support, because that's the point when you hit that column where you do need some support, and you're not meant to do it by yourself. You're meant to get some support handling that column. But the other 3 columns, go to town. Go to town on those other 3 columns as much as you need to, until you get into a place where your head allows you to be feeling your feelings, but also thinking things that are going to be helpful, not hold you back. Thank you for saying that. I would say I'm channeling messages from the highest part of myself, because I don't remember any of this until I play it back. All right, final message for this collective reading, and this will be on YouTube also if you didn't get a chance to see the whole thing. It's going to be on YouTube tonight. Final message. Page of Swords. This card actually came out for the masculine love letter this week. And for me right now, this is about that child that we saw from the very beginning here in the sun energy. We're continuing this theme. And now we have, a child that's ready to go explore and take action. It's about being curious, and it's about studying and learning what you need to study and learn. And it's that same, for me, the same kind of playful thing that came from the energy of the first card here. It's like a really nice little bookends. Be enlightened, and then go and get curious about how to bring that play, bring that childlike energy to whatever it is that you're wanting to bring into the world. And just go with the flow a lot more. I think that's a really wise thing to keep in mind. All right, so now if you are a prayer, which means you subscribe to my channel and you have the prayer badge by your name, I will pull 2 cards for you today, and any question you might have, or if you just want general cards. And so Amanda, just let me know if you have a question or if you just want a general reading. And then if you want a 2-card reading, you can subscribe to my channel, and I will give you one today. And then anytime I might see you live and I see the badge by your by your name. And then also, if you want a deeper reading, it's $22 for a reading on a live stream. And then if you would prefer a private reading, they start at $33 and they go up from there. I have recently changed the price of the Divine Masculine Love Letter. I was doing it as an introductory rate at $33, but after doing a couple of them, I realized the time investment is quite a lot. It takes me at least an hour. So it is now a $77 reading, but it comes with a playlist, actual letter, plus a 15-minute me reading to you from the oracles and kind of reading you the letter and then going over it with you. So if you're interested in that, that is now $77. And then keep your eyes peeled for the special January 7th virtual spa retreat experience that I'm going to be bringing you. I'm very excited about that. And that will be an opportunity to talk directly to me. There'll be like meet and greet. You can ask me questions in the beginning through the Zoom session we'll have. Or you can do it completely anonymous if you'd like to also, and just basically be an observer and do all of the activities that you want to do on your own without having to be involved, because I want it to be a truly retreat experience and feel like you kind of make your own day of it, as if you went to an actual spa and got to do whatever you wanted to do, really, you know? Okay, so Amanda, let's get your reading. You know, Alexis, you were, but right now I don't know if it expired, because right now I only have 12 members and I did have 16. So I don't know if some people's memberships just recently expired. And if you didn't do the renewal thing with it on the monthly thing, I think you have to resubscribe. Okay, Amanda, let's get yours. So 2 cards for Amanda. And if you do decide you want a $22 reading today, click the link to my profile. PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App is available there at the link that's right in my bio. All right, so your first position, 2 cards actually came out, but you got that Sun card that we talked about at length today, and then the 9 of Wands, which is interesting because it's like it was covering up the Sun. So right now, this happiness is blocked by this feeling of isolation. And in this picture, I'm seeing these children are in conflict. And in this picture, we've got this happy sort of connected energy. So something about your inner child, maybe not having this like kind of healing wounds in regards to not having this experience, or the parts of yourself that had to mature. And something about that. And then what's coming out right after that is the 6 of Cups. So we know that this is about a wound from your past, okay? That's coming out. Definitely something in childhood years, since both of these cards are for me about inner child things that go on. She's looking at herself. So this might be about how you see yourself, or how you see your capacity to receive joy. And this is too, you have been healing, because this is a card that's like you kind of set yourself apart and you worked on your healing. And so it does look like you're just doing well at clearing these past wounds, but there is some aspect of isolation or feeling isolated that is making you like feel like you're truly feeling happy, truly feeling joy, like that sun is out and shining and bright. It is blocking you from tuning into that in some way. So maybe addressing your isolation in trying to participate in something where you can meet people. That's one of the reasons. Another reason I wanted to do the retreat is because we'll have a Zoom session. People can introduce themselves. I'm kind of hoping that we have people sort of jump into the chat and get to know each other and develop some relationships with people that are heading in the direction you're going. People that are going to be good friends, supportive friends, wanting to heal wounds, not wanting to be in relationship to others in the way that they have been in their past. And so I feel like looking for companions right now that are on this journey with you, and developing, maybe even doing work too. One of the ways I bonded so much with one of my friends from my college years is that during COVID, we were both of us were, single women. We were both divorced, living alone in a major city. I was in Los Angeles, downtown area of Los Angeles, and she lived in Manhattan, like right on Park Street and Park Avenue. And she worked in museums, so her job was like up in the air, and I had worked for Lyft prior to COVID and was just sort of like, I guess I'm just going to teach music lessons from home now, and started doing tarot and built my tarot business. And we would see each other every single day for coffee, and sometimes in the evening we would call again, do FaceTime, and we would work together on Lacey Phillips' How to Be Magnetic, and we would read each other what we wrote in our journals, and we would be honest and open and just pour our guts out and cry together and help each other see things, you know. And I was learning to really, really become an expert in cards during that time, and so I would be reading for us and her, and it was transformative, and we're so bonded. We took some time apart, like in November last year, for a couple of months, just because we spent so much time together. We actually had to step back and be like, okay, we need to like go back to reality. You have to go back to work at the museum, you know. And oh, you're in LA? I'll probably be visiting at some time in January, so I'll definitely have to stay in touch with you for that. I think we're probably going to be doing a show, so I'll keep you posted about that. But so anyway, yeah, the getting together with somebody that's on the same journey and doing the work together is maybe something that would really help you right now. So my sister is in LA. You might have seen, she's on a billboard right now in LA. She models. Her account here on TikTok and Instagram is Champagne Supernova, spelled SHAMPINE. And she models for Big Bud. So she has like a billboard right now. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know the exact location of it. But I was sad that I didn't get to like be with her to like go drive over to it and freak out that she's on a billboard. But she lives in Highland Park, and she's a Reiki master. So she does Reiki if you ever need Reiki sessions. She does Reiki. She also reads cards, and is also a very gifted reader as well. And she's a badass, super awesome. She works for the Clean Spa in, I don't know the exact location. It used to be across from Porto's in North Hollywood. You work close to Highland Park? Cool. Yeah, she lives, I can't think of the exact, it's like not far away from the CVS, because we would always go to the CVS. It's like right around that area in Highland Park. There's like the Food for Less, I think, is right there or something. Or there's like, or no, maybe not. It's like one of the Smart Food or Food Smart, whatever it is. She lives over there. I used to live there too. I used to live in Highland Park. I sublet for a while. I love that area. But then I ended up with an apartment in downtown LA. If there's any other prayers, I'll pull cards for you. Otherwise, if you'd like a reading, you can hop into the link in my profile. And if you're thinking about booking a reading, I could surely use them. I had to spend a lot on my trip to and from Massachusetts this past weekend. And, you know, I was surprised because I thought more people would take advantage of the Black Friday, the discount code I did last week, but they really didn't. So if you are really wanting a reading financially for me, now would be a great time to book one the next few days. And my schedule is open for next week too, because I had closed it for the holidays. Alexis, there's your badge. Your badge is orange. Does that mean that I know that means your ranking has changed. It might mean that you are like an OG member. Did you have a question, Alexis? And thank you so much for subscribing again. Do you have a specific question? Just general. Okay. So what I got for you, 2 cards. We got the Page of Pentacles coming out. Seen this card today already. And the Temperance card. And I love the Temperance card in this deck. It's it's like it's got a cozy feel to it, and I think Temperance really should have kind of a cozy feel because it's peaceful, satisfaction. People associate it with patience, but for me, the only reason why I would associate it with patience is because we don't have extreme feelings at all. So we're not impatient. We're just kind of, we're content when we're in the Temperance energy. And then the other card that popped out was by itself was the Two of Wands here. So what I'm seeing is that, you know, you're making progress, because this is a card for me of making progress. The Page of Pentacles is about doing something one step at a time, planting a seed and then, you know, having to see it grow. Temperance is your car. I use it to show me what I need to be, card to be more like, yes. So, but I see progress being made, coming to a point where you are really working on your emotional regulation. I'm seeing healing family wounds too, especially to do with childhood wounds, playfulness. We've talked a lot about that today, so that makes sense. If you missed the reading, I'm going to post the replays from yesterday, and today's readings will be there tonight. After I get off this reading, I'm going to do that. So definitely go watch this reading in full length, because I talk a lot about childhood stuff. But you've been working on that. You already know that you are working on it. You're healing those things. I think you're healing the part of yourself that's playful. And I think also healing the part of yourself that doesn't feel worthy, that just didn't feel like you had enough, or there wasn't enough to you. You're feeling more complete and satisfied with yourself. And then the Two of Wands being about that journey that we're on. It's restless energy. Remember, this is a Mars in Aries, and Mars is ruled, or Aries is ruled by Mars, and it's the planet of our aggression. It's like how aggressive we are. And Aries energy is just relentless, bold energy, and then it's just double Aries. So you want what you want behind what you're desiring. So this kind of goes back to what I said at the very beginning of this reading today, where I talked about this concept of attachment when we desire something, and having a state of saying, you know, like, I want to be with this person versus I like to be with this person. Because how many of us are able to say right now, I want to be with this insert person's name, or I want to be with X person, right? And now I want you to say, I like to be with this person. Because if you say, I like to be with this person, then that means that right now, the way it feels to be with them, you like. If you're saying, I want to be with this person, but you couldn't also say, I like to be with this person, then that means that you like to be with the version of this person that is not currently in existence. And you're saying you want something that doesn't currently exist. So when you like to be with somebody, you like them despite their faults and flaws, right? I like to be with this person. They may not always do X, Y, and Z, but I like to be with this person. Or you might realize that you can say, I don't like to be with this person. Because I could say that about my person. Like, the way that I exist with the person that I would put into that statement, I don't like to be with this person. It does not make me feel good to be with this person. I like to be with myself more than I like to be with this person right now. I don't know if that will always be true, but without this person giving me something to like, I can't like being with them. But I could say I want to be with them all I want. And this card is all about that. So the journey of this card is learning the difference between those two statements, right? I said earlier, I want to be a rock star versus I like to be a rock star. I am a rock star. Did you notice? I'm actually a rock star though. I've been that way for 20 years. I've been performing and entertaining. That's what I've been doing for 20 years. But it's always something that seems like I want it, if I want it, it's always something that I don't have. Versus I like to be the way that I am is how I like to be. I don't think of myself as having achieved typical rock star success. But then when I look at what that means, it's a lot of things I don't think I would like. Like, I like to have the privacy I have. I like to be able to this record by this date, and if you don't, then you're going to lose all the money that we were giving you. I don't have to. There's a lot of things I like about how I am a rock star, right? So really working out those concepts of attachment to outcome. So aspiring to something rather than being attached to it. If you aspire to something, that means you like something. So hopefully that helps you. And you're an Aries. I love that. Of course you are when I get that card. And he's there right now. Well, then hopefully he learned something from the reading. All right, if there's any other prayers here today, I'll go ahead and pull your 2 cards for you. Hi, Meg. He's an Aries moon. And thank you so much for subscribing again, Alexis. I really appreciate it. If you would like a personal or private reading, click the link in my profile. You'll see that there is an option to book a free consultation if you're not sure which reading to book, or if you want to talk about getting a package, which gives you some discounted readings. Oh, so to become a prayer, you just click follow and then subscribe. I think there's a 1-month subscription option, so you don't have to have a renewed subscription each month. So you can choose that for just one-time payment. And then I read 2 cards for you now, and anytime I see you in a live, which I go live about 6 days a week, anytime I see you in a live, if you have that badge by your name, I will ask if you have any questions that day or if you want general reading, and I do reading for you. Anybody else, if you want a deeper reading, it's $22, and there's a link in my profile. Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. $5.55 a month, and that gives you access to the extended readings and the replays of the Tell Me Everything spreads. You're welcome. Thank you so much. And subscriptions really help me. So first of all, if you choose a renewing subscription, then that gives me consistent income I can count on each month, which is really nice. TikTok takes 50%. So if I have a lot of subscriptions, and then they are really incentivized to push my channel into the FYP and to give my channel more growth opportunity, because they will value the revenue they receive from it. So it's kind of a marketing relationship. I look at it like that. Now, would I pay my marketing department 50% of my income? Don't think so, but then again, I'm not a giant conglomerate corporation. They can charge whatever I want. Yes, Nicole, do you have any questions specifically today? I think I'm called to do another deck. Just a general. Okay. For some reason, I'm being pulled to another deck, so I'm gonna do that. I've got the Wild Unknown Tarot here. Oh, I was saying before, the free consultation thing is also if you wanted to work with me one-on-one for either, you know, getting weekly readings or helping you pursue your passions or working on spiritual nourishment or anything like that. The spiritual initiate package helps give you 1 hour virtual sessions with me each week at a discount. So if you're interested in that, set up a free consultation so we can talk about what goals you would have, and then I will have you sign up for the spiritual initiate package, and we'll go from there. Taking a long time for your cards to come out here, Nicole. I don't know why. Okay, interesting. So, King of Swords, and then the Daughter of Wands. We have somebody who has a lot to say, but then is really immature about what they actually do say, or how they engage, or how they initiate, or whether or not they do initiate. So this can be your person. This can be a part of you that's like, you know, you actually know. This would be like somebody asks a room full of people, does anyone know how, you know, the answer to this question? And you know the answer, and you know the reason why, and you could explain it at length, and you don't put your hand up. Like, you don't initiate the explanation. You don't want to convey it. You're afraid to say the wrong thing, maybe. Or you don't want people to think that you're a know-it-all. That's something, too. It's like you have this wisdom, but you don't express it. That can be something that is you're going through personally, or a person that you are focused on. I'm seeing father-daughter coming out here too. So father-daughter relationship. This could be a father that did not express their ideas. They maybe didn't seem to have, like, they lacked passion in their life, or they at least didn't share their passion or express it. It can be also somebody who was a daddy's little girl type of an energy, kind of growing up now and having had that come, like, be an issue in their dating and your relationships now. It's interesting because the sword, when the way that I'm looking at the card, this is how I've got it flipped over so it's mirrored. So when I look at it, the sword and the wand are pointing at one another. There's a relationship here between starting something, like planning something, and then starting it. So this can be somebody's remaining silent at this time because they are trying to plan a way to initiate something. They're trying to figure out how to get something started, how to get something off the ground. Also, an owl is a predator of a snake too, so there can be some kind of a masculine energy that has cut you down in the past, made you feel like you had to crawl, or or that you had to beg for attention, for time, for energy investment. So basically, how to counter this energy within self is to really, I think, understand that whatever you're very passionate about, if you can have a clear vision of what you desire and use that feminine Queen of Swords energy to create some kind of a strategy, all you have to do is take the first step and just get started in this thing. Like, just do it. Just start doing it. You know, I was talking about doing the retreat, and I was like, I'm going to just start doing it. I'm going to call the people who I know that will be involved. I'm going to be like, hey, do you like this idea? Okay, cool. Let's do a meeting next week. Like, I don't know. We're going to get this book and this book. We're going to go look at this website and this website. I just did it, and now it's happening. And so just take that same thing of, like, if you know clearly what you want, you can have it. You just have to go for it. And I think you're going to inspire that energy to be reflected back to you. I saw a video today it's from the creator, Ali, that's kind of like speaking out against a lot of the spiritual TikTok community that is problematic. There's a lot of problematic stuff going on in TikTok spiritual community. But she was speaking specifically to how it is not true in any way that people reflect to you, that your thoughts reflect back to you in behavior. And I just think that there is truth in that. And I think that there is scientific truth in it that comes from understanding mirror neurons and also understanding the particle wave, the split particle wave theories, all that kind of stuff, or the slit theories. So I think there's a happy medium between acknowledging that there are creators who are being spiritual narcissists, or suggesting that like every single thing that happens to you is your fault or something, versus embracing that your emotional reaction to the thoughts that you have, and you're tuning into your emotions in order to understand what your thoughts are and shape your thoughts, does have an active role in influencing your decision making. And your decision making is what puts you in front of people that are either in alignment with you or not in alignment with you. And that is how you have control over your environment. So it's not just it's not just magical thinking, but it is like sort of demonstrative. Like you can say, okay, I'm going to shift how I think about this thing, and I then, after doing it, notice that now I make decisions that are different than the ones I made before. That's kind of my take on it. I just feel like we should be critically thinking about what people are telling us in the spiritual community, and also be open to certain things we can't quite describe in scientific terms yet, but we can actually observe and experience, and letting there be space for those things to coexist. That would be my take anyway. And you're welcome, Nicole. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm about to sneeze, I feel. So I'm going to sign off, and I'll be back later this evening, between 7 and 8 p.m. tonight. I think 7 p.m. is when I go live. So I will see you again if you're wanting a reading at that time, or if you want to subscribe. Thank you, Amanda, for my beautiful flower crown. I'll be here later tonight, and then again tomorrow between 1 and 3 p.m. sometime. I might try 5 p.m. tomorrow. I might try a different time tomorrow, so I will try to announce it on whatever video I post that I will be going live at whatever time I decide, because I think I wrote down a different time to try out for Fridays, because I was seeing like low attendance at the time I chose. So, all right, everybody, take care. I will talk to you all soon. Have the best day today. Thank you so much for subscribing.